Hello there and welcome back to another Terraria the board game video. This time I actually have two topics I want to discuss about. The first one is the controversy that arose because of Mr. James Faulkner, the designer of the Terraria board game and also an owner of Paper Fort Games. And the second one is actually I want to talk about the stretch goals that have been fulfilled and the ones that have yet to be fulfilled, and a little worry that I have about the rest of the Kickstarter, specifically the boss ones. If you did end up enjoying this video, why not leave a like, comment, or even subscribe? Anyway, let us begin. So, James Faulkner is the designer and owner of Paper Fort Games, but also he owns another company called, let me go here, Stone Sword Games. Stone Sword Games created this game on Kickstarter, Senjutsu Battle for Japan. When do you not tell me exactly when it started? You don't. Either way, so the estimated delivery was May 2022. I'm not sure if this is the estimated delivery for the full game to people, but either way. What is this controversy? Well, previously to him answering a lot of different comments in a lot of different worries in the comment section here and responding to people, there were a bunch of videos that came out talking about Senjutsu and all the issues that arose with it, including bad communication, pledges not being fulfilled, games not arriving in time, and a lot of different delays and issues with the delivery of the games, which a lot of the comments have been talking about, especially in the Senjutsu Kickstarter. Now, James has started to answer a lot of these comments in here, if I can find any specifically that cover multiple things. For example, there were worries that the money made by the Terraria Kickstarter would be used to fulfill Senjutsu Wave 2 and Wave 3. Now, James answered with, Senjutsu fulfillment is already paid for by the massive retail sales of the product. And there were also worries that maybe the sales of Cosmoctopus would be used for that, and that the studio that Paper Games Fort wouldn't be too stable on its own. But again, the Cosmoctopus sales went straight and fully in securing Paper Fort Games financially. Also saying that the two companies, Paper Fort Games and Stone Sword Games, are entirely separate, and the only thing that they have in common is the fact that he is the owner and a designer on both, and the fact that they all are both in the same area, because that's where he lives. Now, talking about the issues with shipments and everything, James has stated multiple times that he wanted to open Paper Fort Games on his own in order to learn from his failures within Stone Sword Games, including the poor communication, which is why he isn't the person, other than these comments, he isn't the person making the updates. Do we actually have who? Well, they're posted by Paper Fort Games, but I believe James himself said that a person named Chris is working with for all the updates and different comments and everything like that. Another thing that he wanted to not have a mistake happening again from Senjutsu is not having so many SKUs that would have multiple different languages. As you can see, you have Senjutsu in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like 9 or so languages with a bunch of different pledge levels, including like early bird pledges for deluxe and core game, deluxe game pledge, all-in gameplay pledge, all-in deluxe, etc, etc. So there were a lot of those, and you can see this being applied in the Terraria campaign by having only 2 SKUs. I will not count the wood pledge, which I currently have because I want to keep up with the updates first. You have the Gold Pledge and the Hellstone Pledge, both of which are pretty simple and only come out in English. The retail version, which is going to come out later and is going to be more mass-produced than this, will actually have multiple languages to it. So, because of the amount of different SKUs and the amount of different languages that each of them would come in, there were lots of issues when it came to fulfilling the orders and everything. Plus, there are honestly a lot of moving parts when it comes to a company, especially one that is making physical goods, and the way that they take things around the world. So you never know when something might destroy a shipment or might damage a shipment. But yeah, and in some actually good news about the general state of the internet, there was a comment thread here which discussed about the video, one of the videos that I was talking about from King of Average, which it seems like didn't really do as much research as he should have done, because something about that Adam here said. The Wave 2 games are being processed and Wave 3 are being manufactured and shipped right now. You like the video, have not read the full info. So it seems like there was also a lot of misinformation when it came to those videos. But here's the thing. I have no issue with what King of Average did here by making that video, because here's the thing, and I will say it myself as well. Even with all the things that James has said in these comments and all the reassurances, you should still decide for yourself. Do not let me, do not let King of Average, do not let other YouTubers sway your decision on wanting to back this project. If you love Terraria to the point you want to put down 80 to 150 bucks for the board game, sure, nobody's going to stop you. But if the things that have been said about the project, even after having the full information, the seemingly full information, if you still feel uncomfortable on backing this project, there's no issue with backing out or not doing a pledge to begin with. I really think this is something that every person on their own should make a decision if they want to do this, because again, it's a Kickstarter. There's going to be risks for this. But again, from the fact that Cosmoctopus has pretty much been fully fulfilled and has done and done really great, and the fact that Senjutsu seems to be a very small amount of people who still haven't gotten their game, even though yes, there were delays and communication was rough. Again, that could be because of the person who did the communication, which James already said that he knows he did lots of mistakes, and now he has someone else doing communication for Paperfort Games. So yeah. I'm not sure exactly what to really go for it. So in conclusion, for this part, which is all about the controversy, this is something that you should do as a personal decision after having all the information, which I really hope I conveyed as best as I could in this video. So in the end, the Senjutsu Kickstarter is only around 5% left to has only 5% left people left to send the game to, which is the end of Wave 2 and Wave 3 being in manufacturing and shipping. There were big delays, and there was also issues with communication that were specifically because of James being the person that dealt with communication and doing updates on Senjutsu. That has now changed with Paperfort Games, where he is only the owner and the designer. He has nothing to do with communication other than responding to the occasional comments in the comments section. Generally speaking, communication is handled by someone else, and we have seen that communication in both the updates and everything else in the comments seems to be pretty great. Now, there's still, I believe, 17 days to go for this, so there's still time to actually make a decision of your own. It seems like there was a lot of miscommunication and misinformation going on, but take it all with a grain of salt. So now with the second topic, I wanted to take a quick look at the stretch goals, because back when I made the initial video, the stretch goals were just, I don't know exactly, I think it was up to Transparent King Slime, and there's been quite a bunch that have been unlocked, and I do want to talk about them a tiny bit, and a worry I have with the fact that the pledges are, the stretch goals are going already so high, in the above 1 million, and we haven't hit some specific stretch goals I wanted to talk about. So what do we have? A folded box cover, which is cool. It's not really necessarily something that I want, but it's something that's gonna be cool. Cards upgraded for 300 GSM to 350 GSM. I guess that makes them thicker, so that would mean they're weightier and better to play with. The free Christmas promo pack, which includes at the very least an armor set, or possibly just a vanity, a consumable, and a sword. This is going to be interesting. I do wonder if there's going to be more than this, or if this is just a teaser of what's in it. The thicker tokens are also going to be pretty good for general play, because they're going to be thicker, easier to handle and everything. Dice upgraded to marbled acrylic. Now, I'm not too big of a fan on dice. Well, not a fan. I'm not too big in dice information and as a dice person. I have played D&D for the past like 8 years, but I only really used online, like Roll20. I never really actually used and rolled normal dice. And every other dice that I had used came with, you know, the game itself, 1 or 2 D6s. So I'm curious what exactly it's this whole marbled acrylic about, but I'm not really going to you know, go too much about it because I don't know much about it. Also, I just now realized some of these things are Kickstarter exclusives, but not the wooden character added, the wizard wooden character. So I guess this is going to be able to be bought separately, because I believe the wooden character pack is going to be sold separately at some point, possibly in retail, and I guess these will be added and always printed and created for this. But this is cool. Like, I really like that these are going to be a thing that you could buy. The next one is a transparent King Slime, which I believe was the last Kickstarter stretch goal when I made the previous video. But yeah, this is really cool, and I'm honestly really excited to see. I kind of hoped that there would have been a ninja, like a ninja meeple in the middle. That would have been really cool, but it already is able to split into 3 different pieces, so yeah. Tombstone tokens upgraded to wood. Now, I have a quick question about this, because the next 2 kind of fit in here too. The health cube upgraded to wooden hearts, and the mana cube upgraded to wooden star. So I believe the tombstone token, the original one that was in the game, is a literal round token with a tombstone on it, instead of it being a proper thing like this. Or it's still tombstone shaped, but it's you know, the thin cardboard type of token. But yeah, these 3 are really, really cool, because now you no longer have a normal generic cube or a generic rounded token or whatever. You actually have a proper 3D rendering of the thing, you know, of mana, health, and tombstones. I do wonder how tombstones are going to work in general when it comes to the board game, though. A new armor set, Snow Armor, but Snow Armor, generally speaking, wasn't Snow Armor a vanity set? Of course, it doesn't really matter, because different versions of the game, well, like compared from a video game to a tabletop, could have different adaptations of items. Screen printed time tracker token, Moonside and Sunside. This is actually really cool, because you can just flip it around whenever you go from day to night. I feel like this is a very tiny detail, but it's a cool detail. Then we have objective mat added from cardstock. So I guess this is going to be the place where you put your objectives. It's kind of sad that there's only 4 slots, so I guess the base objective amount is 4, but you can choose as many as you want. Next up is the foiled King Slime boss cards, which are part of my worries, but I will talk about it at the end. Next is the NPC mat made out of cardstock being added, which is again same as the objective mat, but for NPCs. I do want to take a closer look, because I'm curious how NPCs are going to work. Will they have like a full card similar to this one, or will they be like a smaller, more horizontal card? Then there's a new character added to the wooden character pack, the Yo-Yo character. And a nice little detail, the custom inventory dice has the Terraria 3 replacing the 0. So this is most likely the dice that you use in order to keep on how much ore you have, or how much wood you have, or how much gel you have. So this is really cool. It's a little detail, but it's such a nice reference to Terraria in general that I love it. The Halloween promo pack, I wonder if it includes more than just the pumpkin armor, because that would be really cool to have some of the, like the bloody machete, or some other, like maybe some vanity or other armors, like, I don't know. There's no way we see the creeper armor, because that's like Terraria, that's Minecraft, so Then we have objective and NPC mats upgraded to punchboard. I'm curious what this is. So I guess this just makes them thicker, right? Instead of them being normal cardboard and being very thin, they're like way thicker. Initially, I thought that punchboard meant that you have little slots, so each card slot is a little like indented, so you could put the card there and there's no worry of it flying around. But I'm not entirely certain about that. And the last currently unlocked one is Queen Bee spawns B tokens. Queen Bee spawned B tokens upgraded to miniatures, which this is really cool. And I feel like this actually kind of fits with the King Slime one. So King Slime goes from being normal plastic to being transparent, which fits way more with the boss. And Queen Bee, instead of having tokens, round the tokens with bees on them, it actually gets a couple miniatures, which makes it way more accurate to how it is in the game. And this is really goddamn cool. I'm kind of sad that we don't have the sculpts, and then there was no real, like, at least a demo sculpt there. But this is really cool. Now, there's two. I think this one's been unlocked. No, there's still like $30,000 left. So the last two ones, which are not yet unlocked, the Health Heart and Mana Star will be screen printed, which is which looks really nice. I'm not sure if this is really worthy of its own Kickstarter goal, but I don't know the inner workings of board game making. And the last one, which I feel like right now is the most exciting, is that all wooden character pieces are going to be screen printed. Now, I know that some people do not really like the art style that the board game has taken, mainly because it looks a lot more realistic than how it actually looks in the game. Instead of being pixelated, but I'm really curious if these are going to be in the same art style as the game, or if they're actually going to go for pixelated looks for the wooden pieces. And now for my worry. We are already closing into £1 million, which is $1.28 million, right? We are getting closer to that, and we will hit that by the end of the campaign. It's only $100,000 left to go. Now, my worry is that there's been some comments talking about having a stretch goal to upgrade all of the to upgrade the bosses and possibly even their cards to their cards being upgraded to foil. Right now, we have the upgrade for King Slime, both the card and the miniature, and we have the miniature upgrade for Queen Bee. Where's the foil cards for Queen Bee? Plus, there's also the fact that there's at least four bosses left with the brain, the eye, the Eater of Worlds, and Wall of Flesh. What upgrades will there be to those? If we'll ever even hit them? Because here's the thing. In the middle of the campaign, which is where we are right now, pledges are starting to, and the amount of money coming in has started to slowly go down. Now, by the end of the 17 days, it's possible we might end up hitting all of the stretch goals. I'm not denying that, especially after most of the allegations have been properly addressed and maybe done in an update rather than in random comments or in a pinned comment. But yeah, my worry is that we might not actually end up hitting all the stretch goals for the bosses, because if we go by the amount of stretch goals that was between let's say, the foiled King Slime boss and the miniatures for Queen Bee, that is going from where? Sorry. So that's £300,000, right? And in between King Slime and the foil pack, it was £350,000. So I'm kind of scared that unless the other boss stretch goals are way closer together, or require less, or the future stretch goals require less money, there's a high possibility we will not hit all the boss upgrades. That is, if and only if all bosses are supposed to get an upgrade in the future. But yeah, the stretch goals that we've seen until this point are pretty cool, not going to lie. Some of them less than the others, if I'm being totally fair, and my one worry is that we might not hit all of the boss upgrades, like all of their boss cards being foiled and little upgrades to their miniature. So yeah, today I covered the drama going on surrounding the Kickstarter, but there's at least one more drama which I don't know if I want to talk about, which involves the Steam discussions, but Yeah, that's like a bit. I don't really want to touch that. And I also covered the stretch goals that are here and the two that are still coming, and my worries for the possibility of not hitting all of them in time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.